Welcome to Galazeth. As far as our opening hand goes, yes, we will keep on this one. I like it. We have a payoff card. We have Aetherflux Reservoir. We also do have 3 lands in the hand. We've got Mystical Tutor, Lightning Bolt, and we've got the fabled new commander matchup, Galazeth versus Galazeth. So I'm very excited to see how this is going to play out, and especially with solo player 1. So hopefully it's going to be good games all the way around. So let's wait for our opponent to get this game started, or mulligan or not, and we'll get it going. Okay, and we are on the play, so let's go and lead off with, I guess at this point, yeah, we'll go and hold on to the fetch line, maybe run into Brainstorm or something like that. So let's go and lead off with Command Tower, and then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn. We could go for Mystical Tutor, but I think at this point, since we just don't know what our opponent's got going on, we don't know what we have going on, I think it's better served that we just go and hold on to Mystical Tutor. So, opponent's going to lead off with Snow-Covered Mountain. Let's go ahead and lead off with Cascade Bluffs. And then unless we draw into something else better, Shivan Reef, okay. We're going to lead off with Cascade Bluffs and then Dockside into an empty board. Nope. Anything else, pass the turn to our opponent. We're playing Galazeth Prismari. Flying, whenever Galazeth enters the battlefield, create a treasure token. Then, get that going. And also, artifacts you control have tap. Add 1 mana of any color. Spend this mana only to cast an instant or sorcery spell. Opponent's going to go for Gold Vein Pick. And yeah, we don't, nothing we do. Well, with Mystical Tutor, yeah, well, let's just kind of see what we draw into. I just, just because it's sitting there doesn't mean we need to burn it just yet. We could try to Mystical Tutor for a piece of counter magic if we wanted to, but we might want to end up using Mystical Tutor for one of our payoff pieces. So yeah, let's just do that. Let's just kind of set it and forget it and just kind of hold on to it. And oh, there we go. Cyclonic Rift. We'll take it. Let's go and lead off with a Bloodstained Mire. And then anything else, pass the turn to our opponent. We're playing against Galazeth Prismari. Our opponent's Galazeth has flying, and our opponent's Galazeth enters the battlefield. They create a treasure token, and also our opponent's artifacts have have add 1 mana of any color, spend this mana to cast an instant or sorcery. So if you didn't believe me, it is Galazeth versus Galazeth. Let's give a quick shout out to our sponsors, TCG Player. If you don't know what Strixhaven College you're going to, well, consider using my bit.ly link, bit.ly/JoltMTG. That's going to apply my affiliate link, allow you to get some cards and help support the channel at the same time, and it costs you nothing. So now we might go for Dockside. Let's see if they got a few more artifacts over there. But I kind of like where this game's going. Oh, there we go. Run into Counterspell. I like that. So let's lead off with the Shivan Reef. And then, so let's do this. Let's go Aetherflux. Aetherflux is one of those cards, and let's do this first. Let's go and crack Bloodstained Mire. Let's go for Aetherflux because, if they've got counter magic, they're probably going to want to use it. And then that also puts us in a spot to where we can probably go Galazeth and then followed up by Counterspell. So we're going to roll out one of our pieces. The deck isn't based around Aetherflux Reservoir, but if we can assemble some stuff on our side of the battlefield, we get it down, get it to stick. Either our opponent's holding on to counter magic or they don't have counter magic. So that should be a pretty good option. Also, let's give a quick shout out to MTGOTraders. If you're coming from Arena and you want to play Commander, oh, that's going to be a braid. Okay, so they did have an answer for that. But yeah, if you want to play Commander online, MTGOTraders is just like your local gaming store. You can go to them to pick up singles, to play single cards. Not singles in your area, but single cards. And you can build whatever deck that you want. Also, let's give a quick shout out to inkgaming.com if you're looking for a playmat for your next web series, next paper gameplay series. And also, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to directly support cool content like this, there is a link down in the description below. But if you're keeping score at home, it is officially free time. So there we go. This is going to be a Gold Vein Pick, and this is going to be an extra treasure token. So what we're going to do at this point is it looks like they might have missed the land drop. So what we're probably going to do is go for Galazeth, and that'll put us on Lightning Bolt, and that'll allow us to stop those treasure tokens, which I do like. So, all right, pull from tomorrow. So let's go for Galazeth. Let's get Galazeth on the battlefield. All right, so we're going to get that treasure token. Let's go ahead and go for Lightning Bolt. And look at this bear. We got Bear Lightning Bolt in the deck. That's going to be not sacrifice, just add 1 red mana. So we're going to do this while they've got shields down. So let's go and pop that dragon. And then that way kind of forces them to go for Galazeth and kind of go from there. So there we go. No hasty option from Galazeth, so we're simply just going to go ahead and pass the turn. But yeah, as far as this deck goes, when I originally built it, I kind of based it on a blue-red Spellslinger deck that I've been kind of building across different commanders. And as I built it, I realized, Galazeth is definitely a unique commander because there's just so many different packages that Galazeth wants you to run. Especially if you're running, artifacts and, value artifacts, different things like that. So it was kind of interesting building this. So I ended up settling into this kind of light artifact package, getting extra artifacts by casting artifacts, and then also kind of tossing in this Thousand Year Storm style deck. So it's almost kind of like mid-range value storm, something like Aetherflux Reservoir. If we have this down, like if we get that down and we get into the late game where we have enough options to go for those spells, that'll definitely allow us to close the game out. Ooh, and that's going to be Galvanic Blast with the necessary mana. All right, so they're going to get it. So Galazeth is gone, so we can still... We might end up pulling from tomorrow for 3, but with Dockside Extortionist out there. All right, so we go Fabled Passage. Yeah, I kind of like this. I kind of like... I like getting down Dockside because that really sets us up for a really nice Galazeth next turn. So let's go Dockside Extortionist. It's going to be 3 artifacts. If they do have an answer, well, they didn't cast it, but we're going to be able to get these treasure tokens. So let's get these 3 artifacts on the battlefield. If they want to sacrifice the 2 treasure tokens, they certainly can, but it looks like they do not end up doing that. So if we're looking at Galazeth, that's going to be 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We get an extra treasure token enter the battlefield. Yeah, I kind of like doing this. So let's go for Galazeth. Let's get Galazeth on the battlefield. Let's go ahead and crack Fabled Passage first. So let's get Galazeth going. Okay, so we're going to have Galazeth enter the battlefield. We're going to get that treasure token. There we go. And we are online for a counter spell. So anything else, let's go ahead and pass the turn. So now we're at the point where we are at 5 mana. We do still have access to counter spell. We're getting to the point to where we can try to cash in a pull from tomorrow. Or if we want to get the Mystical Tutor going, that will find us another option. We do have a couple different kind of, win condition spells that we're going for with Mystical Tutor. We do have Mizzix's Mastery in here. Which, if you don't know Mizzix's Mastery, when you overload it for 8, you're going to be able to cast all the instant and sorceries out of your graveyard, which is just a wonderful feeling. And ends up, in a game like this where you're trading a bunch of resources, just being able to Living Death your graveyard for instant and sorceries, that's a pretty good feeling. All right, so it's going to be Golden Pick onto Prismari. And whenever it deals combat damage, yeah, so if they do end up swinging in, I think I kind of like rifting on this. Because it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. They'd have to sack a treasure token. So let's do this. Let's go Cyclonic Rift on Galazeth. I like this. Because we still end up with the treasure tokens. It's going to be 1. Let's go and send Galazeth back to our opponent's hand. That way they don't get the extra treasure token. Now, it does put us down, shields down on any sort of, spot removal our opponent may have. But I kind of like forcing this line of play. All right, so we send Galazeth back to the hand. Now, that will give them an extra treasure token, but the good thing is that they're going to have to, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, so they're going to have to crack it. It'll still put them back in the same spot, but at least this kind of gives us an extra turn to hopefully kind of build up a few more of our resources. But yeah, as far as the targets of Mystical Tutor, we've got Mizzix's Mastery in here. We do have Past in Flames, which is going to allow us to kind of chain together some of that. We aren't running a ton of, spells that give us extra mana. But we do have enough in here to where if we do find one of those pieces, that's something that we can kind of start working towards. So, all right, so let's see what we draw into for the turn. Yeah, I still think we're going to hold on to Mystical Tutor just until we get a little bit more. So let's go for Arid Mesa. And that's going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think pull from tomorrow would be a pretty good option. So let's do this. Let's just go and pass the turn. We're going to be able to leave up Arid Mesa. Everything that we can do at instant speed. And we don't really want to swing into Galazeth right now, so we'll simply just pass it. But yeah, so we have Mizzix's Mastery. We do have another big payoff spell in the deck is going to be Brass's Bounty. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which is going to be just enough to go for that. Depending on what our opponent does, if they end up going shields down, I feel like there's been times where they could have gone for a counter spell, but we didn't see it. So Mystical Tutor into Brass's Bounty, that would definitely be something. With something like Brass's Bounty, that's going to be the big kind of storm piece for us, where once we get all of these artifacts on the battlefield, it's going to make it to where we can try to go off in some form or fashion, chaining together a bunch of spells. But if we can get a Brass's Bounty to stick with a pull from tomorrow, that's a pretty good chunk of card draw. So Let's see what else our opponent's rolling out. They are sitting at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up to 6 total instant or sorcery mana. And they're going to go for the equip onto Galazeth. So we're definitely okay with that. All right, so they're swinging in for a 4/5. That's going to drop us down to 23. That will give them an extra treasure token. And then I think we'll probably just still end up going for pull from tomorrow. I mean, that's going to give us a lot of options of far as sending stuff back to our opponent's hand. We do have Brawl's Expertise. If we can find something like Prophetic Bolt, Electro Dominance, or even something like Expansion and Explosion, that'll be pretty good. But if they do end up tapping out the entire crew, all of their mana, we might Mystical Tutor for Brass's Bounty, because that'll basically just be a free spell almost a free spell, once we get all those treasure tokens on the battlefield. So it's going to be Gadrak. Yeah, I think this is good. I kind of like doing this. Can attack. Yeah, if they get more treasure tokens going. So let's do this. Let's go for Counterspell on Gadrak to see if this last 2 mana is going to be a counterspell or not. Okay, and then let's go and crack Arid Mesa. And we'll just go ahead and grab a Volatile Ford. Yeah, there we go. Get that down. And then let's go Mystical Tutor. I kind of like going for this. So let's go Mystical Tutor. Make sure we add blue mana to our mana pool. Yeah, let's grab Brass's Bounty. I like that. This is going to open us up for a ton of treasure tokens. So, okay. So we draw into Brass's Bounty. Let's go and cast Brass's Bounty. Now, if they've got Counter Magic, they've got it. But I feel really good going for this. Puts them into the, hey, either you have it or you don't. So let's go Brass's Bounty. And even if they do counter it, we still, all right, there we go. All right, so we're looking at 6. And then do we want to push in for a 3/4? I mean, we're still just making trades at this point right now. So let's go and push in with the whole crew. It's going to be Dockside and Galazeth swinging in. So swinging in for 4, we're going to knock them down to 26. And then we will pass the turn over to our opponent. So, but yeah, this is one of the things with Galazeth is that it's such a potent commander. You can see we have all of our treasure tokens online after that Brass's Bounty, but there's also times to where, you know, it wouldn't hurt to run some sort of blink package in here. You know, being able to get Galazeth down, blinking that to get those treasure tokens. You can imagine if we were to blink Dockside Extortionist right now, getting that 3 extra mana per turn for instant and sorceries, that would be a huge difference. There's just, it's kind of one of those that it's just such a good value commander that it's hard not to run all the things that are going to support that package. But when you start running all those things that support your commander on all the different value aspects, it kind of weakens the deck because you just have a lot of, you know, little packages that are really good for the deck instead of having one kind of concise theme. So, but I'm liking the way the deck's going so far. It feels pretty good. All right, so that's going to be a treasure token on the battlefield. Hopefully they don't have any sort of you know, extra turns, anything like that. That would be a little bit something we don't really want to see at this point in the game right now. But one of the good things is with having 6 treasure tokens, that would definitely kind of put them in a spot. It's going to be Terror of the Peaks. Okay, yeah, we're good with that. So we'll let that stick. That's going to be a 5/4. And then we're going to be able to pull from tomorrow for 4, which is, you know, could be better. We could try to pull from tomorrow next turn, which is going to be a ton of card draw. Yeah, I think I kind of like that. Yeah, let's do that. Because if we're going to cash in, a bunch, we need to cash it in. So hoping that it's just no counter magic from our opponent. So let's go pull from tomorrow. Okay, so we're going to have a pull from tomorrow for 11. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to set up some sort of win. You know, they're going to have 4 and 5 in the air, so we're really looking at a 2-turn clock. So what we really need to do right now is just get as much card draw as possible. Our opponent goes, uh-oh, dang. And we need to discard 1 card. So I think what we'll get rid of at this point right now is we've got some good stuff. We did hit Mizzix Mastery, so that's something that we can work towards. So with Mizzix Mastery, we definitely want to leave that in the hand. We've got Lightning Strike, which we can kind of leave over there. Let's just get rid of one of our lands right now. Let's get rid of Campus. There we go. Let's make the land drop for the turn. Let's go for Castle Vantress, because we do have an island that enter the battlefield untapped. Let's go for Spellbook. We have no maximum hand size. Now, that was a good hit for us, hitting that no max hand size. And then that's going to be 1/2. We do have mana. We don't have mana just yet for Hull Breacher. But if we can get that down, we might be in a good spot. Okay, so let's do this. Let's just pass the turn. We are looking at 9. That's going to drop us down to 9 next turn. We do have the line of play with Tezzeret. We can get that down. We definitely have the artifacts for Tezzeret to start drawing 2 cards. And so I think I kind of like where this game's headed. So anything else, let's go and pass the turn over to our opponent. So we've got Lightning Strike online. We do have Anticipate for a little bit of card draw. Once we get past this turn, that does put us into Hull Breacher. And then once we get Tezzeret down, we're looking at a 0 ability to draw 2 cards. And with us hitting Mizzix Mastery, this is going to allow us to, we're not going to win the game. But if we tap out 8 for a Mizzix Mastery, that's going to be another Brass's Bounty. That'll be another Mystical Tutor, Counterspell, Cyclonic Rift. So you can definitely see where simply going for a value play with Mizzix Mastery, it's definitely going to help us out. So let's see what they have to show for the turn. I still think either way, we're probably still going to end up going for Anticipate because we just need to dig a little bit deeper into our library. And unfortunately, at this point, no matter how we block with Galazeth, we're going to lose Galazeth. So we're just going to have to let this come on through. So that's going to be 9 coming across. It's going to put us down to 9. But yeah, with that pull from tomorrow, that's definitely things that you want to run in a deck like this where you're building Galazeth. You can definitely run all of those instant or sorceries that are high converted mana cost once you get all those treasure tokens going. But one thing that you always want to include in a Spellslinger deck is something that allows you to just, shatter that hourglass, draw a ton of cards. So you can see what kind of position it put us in for that. So let's go Anticipate. That's going to be 1, 2. And once again, we're going shields down. So if we see any action from our opponent or we don't see any action, then that does feel like a pretty good game plan. So let's go Anticipate. And what we'll do on this one is we'll just go and grab a mountain, since that's 3 lands, put those rest on the bottom in any order. And with Mizzix Mastery, we're definitely going to be able to recast any of that stuff out there. So see what we draw into for the turn. 1,000-Year Storm would be wonderful, but that is an island. So let's make the land drop for the turn. It's going to be mountain. And yeah, I think I like doing this. So let's go for Tezzeret. That's going to be 1, 2. So we get down Tezzeret. We're going to be able to go for the 0 ability with these treasure tokens. And that'll really help us out. Let's go 0, draw a couple more cards. Okay, so we run into a few more lands. And let's see. So we can tap down for Worn Power Stone and still be online with 7. We have 8 total mana. So what we probably want to end up doing right now is just leaving up Hull Breacher. I think that would be a pretty good option. We can go for Worn Power Stone to make sure we have as much mana as possible. Because that could end up being, well, we're not going to be able to hit pull from tomorrow. Aetherflux Reservoir. We almost want to dump as many instant or sorceries in the graveyard as possible. So let's say Lightning Strike, Chemister's Insight for next turn. That's going to be 6 total mana. That'll be that. And that'll still keep us on Hull Breacher. So yeah, I kind of like that. So let's do this. Let's just go and pass the turn. We've got Tezzeret online. We're going to be able to block on one of the creatures. We are getting to the point now to where we do need to be conservative with our life total. And so we may end up blocking this turn. And we'll see how the interaction works with Mizzix Mastery and Overload out of the graveyard. I'm not entirely sure how that works, but since everything in our hand is basically an instant speed, or instead of going for Worn Power Stone, we'd rather drop in Hull Breacher, I think what we'll do is we'll simply just pass the turn and then see if we can't get something assembled for Mizzix Mastery. We don't have the best options out there. That does have Mystical Tutor. We're going to put something on top. We can sequence it to where with Chemister's Insight, we might be able to draw into another kind of big piece. We'll kind of see exactly what we're looking at. Ooh, and that is going to be a Cyclonic Rift Overloaded. Okay. So let's get some card draw going. That's what we got to go for. That's going to be blue. Let's tap down treasure token. It's not over yet, but if they do get this to stick, that's definitely not going to be good for us. So let's go Chemister's Insight. We're going to draw 2 cards. And we've got enough for another Chemister's Insight too once we go for the jump start. So, all right, it's going to be Chemister's Insight. We're looking for a counter spell off of this. Past in Flames, Mana Crypt. Nope, not going to hit it on that. Let's go for jump start out of the graveyard. We're going to tap down blue, tap down blue. And we do need to discard 1 card. And I think what we'll do is we'll just get rid of an extra land right now. So we'll get rid of Island, drawing 2 more cards in hopes of hitting a counter magic. Then we run into Electrolyze, and that is going to be just enough for next turn. So we can still Lightning Strike, but that's not going to do anything. We've got Hull Breacher, which does not have flying. And Electrolyze. Because this is at our end step. Because even if we did go Tezzeret with the token, Yeah, so let's just go. We'll send Electrolyze up top, but it looks like our opponent's going to get in on this one. So good game to our opponent. We'll just to see what we're digging into. So that'll be red. Tap down for blue. We're going to go Electrolyze up top. And yeah, there we go. All right, opponent's going to get in on this one. It's going to send everything back to the hand. All those treasure tokens, but Galazeth versus Galazeth, this was pretty good. Our opponent had a little bit more of a conservative build. As you can see, we had a little bit more of a storm-based build. But you can definitely see where, getting something like Brass's Bounty to stick, getting those treasure tokens, it completely opened us up for whatever sort of game plan we're going for. So let's get rid of our lands. We'll discard those because we still have some fun stuff to talk about. We'll get rid of Mana Crypt, Thought Vessel, Preordain, and we'll get rid of Dockside and Hull Breacher. Is that enough? One more Power Stone. There we go. All right. And then we pass the turn. So what we were going to do next turn if they did not have Cyclonic Rift is that we were going to block with Galazeth. That would have kept us alive. We would have Tezzeret online to draw 2 more cards. We would have had Mizzix Mastery online to kind of overload everything out of the graveyard. Now, that wouldn't have allowed us to win the game going for Mizzix Mastery, but let's say that we did draw into Thousand Year Storm. Let's say that we did have, Past in Flames with some sort of producing effect. You can definitely see that if you're still doing your normal blue-red Spellslinger stuff, countering stuff, tutoring for cards, using spot removal here and there, when you get to the late game, it is nice just to have Mizzix Mastery be 8 mana, and it's almost free because you've been getting treasure tokens the entire game. So, but this was a lot of fun. Galazeth versus Galazeth. Our opponent's going to get it on this one. We probably would not have won with Mizzix Mastery, but boy, that's why you play Commander. It's fun to be able to just churn stuff out of your graveyard to see what you can kind of assemble. So, good game to our opponent. We're definitely going to be playing a lot more games with Galazeth. In fact, if you enjoyed it, hey, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.